Who were the most intriguing creatures from Norse mythology? Many demons and monsters have terrified us and made us fear their existence, and every mythology has legends with extremely strange-looking creatures who can be horrifying in their appearance. But none beats the Scandinavian writings, and you'll find out why. Hi, and welcome back to our channel, where today we're going to look at the top 10 most powerful creatures from Norse mythology. But before we dive into the bizarre worlds of the Scandinavian culture, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you stay notified of our future uploads. Now, without wasting another moment, let's get right into it. So, let us start off by clarifying that some of the most fascinating characters in Norse mythology aren't their strong gods, but rather the creatures who appear on a regular basis to fight the gods and terrorize men. However, Norse mythology, with its intriguing stories, complex characters, and terrible monsters, never truly left Scandinavian thought and has had a significant influence on current literature, television, and games. So let us dive deep into the creature side of it with the list of top 10 powerful monsters in Norse mythology. Number 10. Trolls. So there were two kinds of trolls. Hideous trolls that lived on mountains and in forests, and little trolls who looked like gnomes and lived underground. Both species were known for their intelligence and were particularly cruel to humans. Many of them were gifted with magical and sacred abilities. In fact, the huge boulders in the Scandinavian countryside are thought to have formed when trolls were caught in the sunlight and turned to stone. It is believed that when the trolls used the boulders as weapons against gods and humans, some of them landed there and eventually turned to stone. Number 9. Sleipnir. He was a rare and deadly monster in Norse mythology. What made him unique was that he was Odin's horse, and he had 8 legs, one set of 4 at the back and 1 in the front, so he could keep one in each realm. He gained his power from his mother, Loki, the Norse god who transformed himself into a horse and was impregnated by another horse. So this makes Sleipnir the only creature in the Norse myth that was born of 2 fathers. He was a powerful and magnificent horse with a stormy gray coat, deemed as the best of all horses. Odin took excellent care of him and regularly rode him to battle. Number 8. Norns. They are arguably the most powerful beings in Norse mythology, as they rule the lives of gods and humans, and are also the ones who decide what will happen, when, and how. There were 3 Norns. Their mission was to protect the tree that linked the 9 realms from death by pouring water from the well of Erd on its branches. Their care simply delays the tree's demise, as a central tenet of Norse myth is that everything eventually dies. Number 7. Mare. By sitting on victims while they slept, this monster gave them nightmares. The Mare were thought to be the souls of living people who left their bodies at night like demons. These were frequently witches whose souls took the form of animals, although ordinary humans, particularly teenagers, were also said to become horses when their spirits wandered. The belief that the soul wandered at night was a common experience in Norse mythology. Number 6. Kraken. They are underwater creatures supposed to live off the coasts of Norway and Greenland and are frequently represented as massive octopus or squids. Some myths claim that their bodies were so large that they could be mistaken for an island. If men were lured to the island, it would sink as soon as they set foot on it, killing them and making them its food. When it rose to the surface, it was thought to create large whirlpools that would help it in attacking ships. But the Kraken primarily consume fish, and they would attract fish by releasing their feces into the water. Their waste was so thick and smelled so strongly of fish that it drew in a lot of other fish for the Kraken to eat. Number 5. Jotnar. They are Norse mythology's giants, who are said to have powers comparable to the gods. The name Jotnar, which does not relate to their size, means devourers. Despite this, you would be shocked to know that even gods had a part of Jotnar in them. Many Asgardian gods have descended from this breed. In fact, the Allfather Odin is 1/4 Jotnar, and Thor is 3/4 Jotnar. The Asgardian gods do not intend to kill their breed, but rather to keep them in check in order to preserve the universe in balance. Number 4. Jormungandr. He was a snake or dragon who liked to live in the sea that surrounds the visible world of mankind, Midgard. Odin is reported to have thrown him into the water to keep him out of trouble, but this creature became so huge that he could surround Midgard and clutch his own tail. He is described as Thor's enemy. Even Thor was terrified to look at Jormungandr, who is dripping poison and blood. Number 3. Fenrir. He was the most well-known of the many wolves referenced in Norse mythology. Fenrir was raised by the gods of Asgard to prevent him from unleashing havoc across the 9 planets, but he grew rapidly and caused so much trouble that they decided to lock him up. The gods tricked Fenrir into letting them chain him up by thinking they were testing his strength. Later, the gods ordered the dwarves to create a special chain that was stronger than any known chain but looked light. Fenrir was suspicious of the chain and asked that one of the gods insert his hand in his mouth as a token of good faith while he was bound. Even though he knew he would lose his hand, the god Tyr accepted. When Fenrir realized he had been tricked, he did indeed eat Tyr's hand. But as a fair trade, the gods bound him to a boulder and stuck a sword between his jaws to keep them open. The drool from its mouth created a bubbling river known as expectation. Number 2. Huldra. They are forest wardens that protect a number of places. Female Huldra are described as extraordinarily attractive and seductive, yet with a cow's long tail and a back covered in bark. To wander in the world of men, the Huldra would disguise themselves as young ladies. Their illusion strength is only broken if someone sees their tail. They go from town to town luring young, unmarried men into the forest, where they are kept as slaves, lovers, or the Huldra drains the life out of them. Number 1. Draugar. They were monstrous creatures with tremendous strength that resembled zombies. The Draugar had the capacity to grow in size whenever it wanted, and it could swallow a person whole. They had a strong smell of dead bodies and often lived in their own graves, defending the treasure with which they were buried. They are known to have caused chaos on the living and tortured those who had wronged them in life. Interestingly, the Draugar is thought to have a second death if they are damaged in some way, such as being burned or dismembered. Many people thought if they were selfish, unpopular, or evil during their lives, they would turn into Draugar after death. And with this, we come to an end for this video. If you enjoyed watching it, make sure you like, share, and hit the subscribe button so you stay updated on our future uploads. Also, check out our channel for more. We'll see you next time with another intriguing mythical video. Until then, goodbye.